I don't mean to be an asshole, but I really do have to ruin my good sense of humor by going back and saying, I was just joking. I was just kidding. I can't blame people. I so badly want to just relish hate and blame people. Even God had to come down here for MA. I'm sorry, Matter Anonymous. But really, I was trying to go to Emotions Anonymous. Me, God the Father. Can you believe this? Yeah. Emotions Anonymous. Come down here and learn how to deal with my emotions. If you look in the Old Testament, that was me. And I'm dead serious, actually. Now I'm being serious, all right? I'm being silly as hell. I'm going to try to explain the quadruple think, introverted, unintroverted, double think thing. Did I just say double think? My short-term memory is shot. Now look, I'm what you call, if you read the Urantia book, this is my discovery. You're God? Well, why don't you just do everything magical that you could ever do then? Because that's not how it works. I will soon, actually. Soon enough, I will be on a white horse, by the way. I will officially do the whole Kalki avatar thing. But the way it works, there's scripture and there's religion, and then there's real life. It's always different. And right now, I think if you want answers about is Hinduism mythology, it's hard to say. Srila Gaur Hari Das would be a good one to ask about that. I think he'll say sometimes Brahmins would tamper with the scriptures, extend the hell sentences for 50,000 billion lifetimes because you sucked your husband's dick or something, for wives. Crazy stuff. But for males too, is when it comes to homosexuality, the understanding has always been, Prabhupada usually is quoted to say homosexuals are very fallen people. Well, for one thing, Prabhupada was goddess. Prabhupada was, I think, Saraswati. I'm not sure. Was it Saraswati? Was it Vishaka? That's Saraswati right there. Was it you, Saraswati, Srila Prabhupada? If so, give us a sign. I saw a sign. Was it not Saraswati? It was not Saraswati, or it was Saraswati? Was it Vishaka? Was he Lalita? Was he Taraka? I think he was either Taraka or Saraswati. I'm getting a sign for Saraswati. Yeah, I'm getting this that Mother Saraswati, she's looking very much like a Ram Prasad Singh girl. She communicates with me. Radha Krishna Gopinath communicate with me. I'll finish the creator son thing. I'm what you call a paradise creator son. I put myself in this situation. I limited myself. I'm the God of the Bible, the Old Testament. But the Old Testament is not the Supreme Lord. It's Kartikeya, the God of war. And I'm very sensitive. I'm easily angered. I come from Shiva. Lord Shiva is easily pleased and he's easily angered. I'm like a Rudra. You call us Rudras. But I'm also Sanat Kumara. This sounds like delusion. I don't ever talk like this. I'm telling you, I've woken up to that I'm God. And it's not that we're all God. Maybe I'll realize this, that I'm just realizing the same thing we all realize, that we're all God. It turns out that was the higher teaching other than the Vaishnava teachings. But right now, that's not what it is. Vaishnavism is correct. Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. Not everyone is in his position. He is in his position. He is holding that position as simultaneously one and different separate being named Krishna. He is in the position of supreme personality of Godhead. All is him. All entities, all spirit, all matter, all whatever else there is him. Her, other, it, etc. Radha Krishna Gopinath. Okay? To think that you are fully Krishna, that you are fully Krishna Shama Sundar, is delusion. You are not fully Krishna. You are not fully Shamasundar. Philosophically, that is correct. You are God. We are all God. There's nothing that is God. Matter is the inferior energy of God. Spirit is the superior energy of God. You are pretextually, according to your pretext, according to a lot of people are under a pretext. If you're a pretextual, or what I call a fill-in, they range from every walk of life, celebrities to complete nobodies of every walk of life. Some people are God. God occupies his worlds secretly without us knowing, consciously, as people that see, or entities that just seem like common entities. You would never ever be able to tell that it's not God, because he'll actually be living out a limited life of some fumbling person or entity, making mistakes, learning, growing, being mundane, yada yada yada, doing fucked up sick shit, yada yada yada. But this is a David Laib Hart shirt, by the way. My sister is his secretary. He was on Tim and Eric, the black guy. That was hilarious. He did the puppets with they all had some magical twinkle in their eye. Bizarre, creepy looking puppets. That's my sense of humor, personally. That is hilarious. But Tim and Eric, some of their stuff is like too anti-humor to where it's not funny. It's like, that's just obnoxious. But other stuff that people think is obnoxious is extremely funny, because grown men should never behave that way. I like Tim and Eric. Anyway, I really am the return of Jesus Christ. Adolf Hitler was me, and here I am again. There's a Greek Orthodox, unless it's Russian Orthodox, picture of Jesus Christ where he's got a line under his eye. I don't know if it's the same side. It might be the exact same spot. But Krishna will give you marks of Vishnu. That's one. Jesus had that under his eye in this picture that I had from Youth of the Apocalypse and the Last True Rebellion. And then Hitler has that same scar. It might be on this side, but I think it's on this side. That there's a really intense look of Adolf Hitler where he's looking pissed and he's like... And there's an old man with his hands in his hair. It's like in Serbia or something like that. And it's like the old man saying, oh, we have to go off to war for this kid. Somebody hurt his feelings bad. He is pissed. When you offend people who are very dear to Krishna, it requires blood. That is a law of life. When you offend Krishna or his devotees, blood is required. That is a law of life. God does what he wants. He's not necessarily always legalistic, but blood is required when you are offensive to the Lord's devotees. He does not like that at all. People don't seem to get this very well, even though the scriptures make it real clear. They make it so clear. And yet people just want to walk around nonchalantly. Vaishnavas. I'm not talking about regular people. I'm talking about Hare Krishna devotees who are supposed to know better. Just nonchalantly speaking unlovingly about your fellow man or woman. That's not cool. That is not cool. I don't care what they say. I won't stay in a world without love, and neither will you. There's no talking bad about people behind their backs in an unloving way. You don't have to be like freaking legalistic about it. It's not like I'm not even able yet to hover over people with a lightning bolt, strike them down, nothing like that. All right, here's the thing. I know that you probably think I'm insane, but I don't know who all's watching these videos and who all's going to stay on my planet. I would like to be nice all the time, but Radha Krishna won't allow that. They are still in control. They are restoring me back to my original position as Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is no higher power than me. I am at the top of my totem pole. My name is Krishna. I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thomas Reeves is at the bottom of my totem pole. I am Kartikeya. My name is Lord Krishna. I am Kartikeya. Of war generals, I am Kartikeya. This is a mysteriological truth. Thomas Reeves is not allowed to comprehend it fully, as neither are you, I'm sure. He is on the Jiva level. I'll go ahead and speak normal now. So ISKCON gave us an icon, the Jiva soul. It's a transmigrating spark of divinity. The body dies and it goes to the next body, right? And Prabhupada explains many times the analogy of there are two birds sitting in a tree. One bird is Paramatma, Krishna in the heart, and the other bird is the Jiva, the self of the person sitting next to the bird. Now, I don't know if that's just a pre-revelation or if that's technically what it is with the Jiva, is that you are in the heart, causing it to beat and or in the middle of the chest. Paramatma with 4 arms. Well, that would be the self with a capital S, right? Krishna is the self with a capital S. That would be Paramatma with the 4 arms. And then it's, the way Prabhupada explains it, etc., is that Paramatma's in here, and then one of us is either in the heart or in the chest. But there's 2 of us in there. There's Paramatma, and then there's you, or me, right? So that's the ISKCON belief, right? I don't know if that's actually what it is. That could just be a pre-revelation to give us something, our mind, something like a dogma. Dogmas are salvific formulas of truth that is largely beyond the human mind. So for your mind to have something to chew on, because you need to grasp God. God is a person with a incomprehensibly one and difference. You are God, and there is a separate being from you named Krishna, and innumerable others, Balaram, Radharani, you name it. They're on different levels, variations on themes, mixes of deities, entities, personages of Krishna, etc. Like, for instance, I know someone who's a Vishaka Hanuman. He actually is the gopi Vishaka, which a lot of people are, because that gopi is so high next to Krishna, coming straight from Krishna's body, that she might as well be God. You wouldn't know any difference if they didn't let you know. In the beginning, there was us, and we created man and woman in our image, says the first book of the Bible. That would be Radha Krishna Gopinath. Krishna arranged for it to be worded like that, although the God of the Old Testament was me, Kartikeya, who is not the Supreme Personality of Godhead, yet at the same time, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna says, of war generals, I am Kartikeya. This is a mysteriological fact of life. And so there are things that touched my heart and resonated with me in the Old Testament of the Bible. He's obviously not the most evolved God, not at face value. He's obviously quite an immature God, actually. I had this realization that I'm an eternal 11-year-old. Dagon Krishna. Somehow he's an eternal 11-year-old. He says in the Old Testament a lot, the way he talks is he says to his children, the Israelites, that I'm enraged with you because you hate me. I love you and you hate me. Therefore, I'm enraged at you because you hurt my feelings. And I'm going to destroy you now. That really is what it is. Adolf Hitler was him. I limited myself to come down here and have the human experience for all kinds of various reasons. A demigod's psychology is hard for a human being to figure out. Did you come here just to shine out and try to be God instead of serve Krishna? Or did you come here out of compassion for the fallen conditioned souls? Or was it a mixed bag with a whole bunch of other dynamics of a mentality that the human mind can't even fathom? The latter. And something about Adolf Hitler was that existential, eternal personage of Krishna who tortures animals and stuff like that. I didn't torture animals physically as a kid, but people who are fallen Kartikeya personages are like Jeffrey Dahmer, Ted Bundy, people like that. This is my understanding right now. I come from a white devil personage of Kartikeya or something like that. At least a white personage of Kartikeya. It seems to me that there is something about this latter invention of Krishna, you could say, white people, white humans, that they're white devils. Krishna's the devil, so really that's not saying much in that sense. But I don't know, there's just something weird about that angry Aryan's face. I look at that entity in the eye, the little white devil on the Angry Aryan CD, and I look deep in its eye, and the way it's smiling. And you know what I see in that? You should go look it up. Look on YouTube or something. Look up Angry Aryans and look up the white demon's image. Look at it deep in the eye. It's laughing really good humoredly, but there's something that it's a little bit creepy about that entity. What's it exactly could it be laughing at with that look in its eye? It's not that dark. Well, actually it is. It's pretty dark, but it's not that. It's actually, things that seem really dark are actually not dark at all. It's actually silly and stupid. But I don't know. I'm not going to say some big grandiose thing like it might sound like I'm leading up to. I'm just going to say one quick little thing about it probably. I mean, I don't even know what I'm going to say, but let me just talk for a minute. I'll get back to, so I'm what you call a paradise creator, son, and basically I limited myself, and what we're all going to be seeing is that I'm going to be growing into the beast. No, seriously, I'm going to be evolving into perfect godhood, and we're all going to grow down into perfect youth, into demigods, and then pure spiritual beings that are utterly beautiful. And we will, and essentially, if not actually physically, everyone makes love in heaven. I mean, that's the idea that I have. I don't know that we're all going to be having physical sex, but we might. I'm not into being gay. I'm not into skinhead as a fetish. Not at all. But sexuality goes both ways. I am goddess. I am a real man. I am the man. I'm speaking arrogantly because this is a practice for me. I have never spoken like this before. I've been practicing Vaishnavism, where you think yourself lower than the straw in the street. At least the straw in the street's not a raging freak. And that really is how I feel. But now I realize why I'm a raging freak. Why I'm weirder than everybody that I've ever met on this planet. It's because I'm God. I'm not talking about philosophically. I'm talking about I'm the Supreme Lord, and I've put myself down here, limited with a plan. I have all my servants working for me, Radha Krishna Gopinath and all the gods, especially gods like Shiva, Lalita Devi goddess, Ganesh, etc., etc., etc. They are all behind the scenes, and all their very many innumerable minion selves down here as well. It's for me in my process. This is how God grows. It's also for the world to have stories like World War II, the Old Testament, etc., Jesus, and to learn from them. It's for those who are actually fallen souls caught up in the mix between all of us to observe it and be a part of it and learn and grow from it and be affected by it positively. And it's it's just time to reestablish the golden age on this planet, depopulate it, and start the races over again. And I just so happened to be the one that created all of this, and I put myself down here in a limited position to where I slowly wake up. I lived a very treacherous life. I mean, not as bad as some, but very lonely, very treacherous, a lot of tears, And now I'm waking up like something had to give, and it did. I realized just the other day that I am He. I'm God. I've never accepted this. It breaks my heart to think that there's no God outside of myself, because there is. His name's Krishna, and he's given me back my position. Right now, my mantra is, I am Balaram, 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 who is Krishna's, not merely his chum, but his respected elder brother. And I mean, that's what I like to think right now. I am Balaram, and whatever I like to think is whatever is true. That's actually, it sounds arrogant, but see, the thing is, that's because we've never dealt with God before. I'm talking about not philosophically God. I'm talking about there is a supreme being, and not everybody is in his position. His name is Krishna, and he's given me back my position. I am the supreme personality of Godhead. There is no power higher than myself. We are not all equally, completely. We are all equally, qualitatively, Jiva souls are about 77% equal to me. But I am the Supreme Lord. No one is equal to me quantitatively. Especially not Thomas Earl Reeves III, who is, you could say, the soul energy of Paramatma in this body, Vishnu, or Krishna. And the plan was, I'll blow my brains out, and then I'll do it again, and I'll transmigrate. And now they say if I blow my brains out again, I would just go back to being God. But the idea for me was that the type of entity that I am, I have a choice to survive or not. As Hitler, I did not survive. I came down, I was a Shaktivesh avatar of Vishnu. I was Luciferically fallen Kartikeya, a white Anglo-Saxon variety of the white race. And that would be Balaram somehow, of course. And somehow, of course, that would be Balaram. And how to explain that? It has to come to me. I have to search it out in my head, and Krishna gives it to me, but it's a lot of mental strain. And again, I just want to reiterate, if I were not God, I would never be talking, I am this and I am that. No, there is no higher power above me. No, earlier, I was allowing my mind to relax a little bit, thinking pious thoughts about wanting to serve Krishna as his devotee. And Radharani pops up, and she's causing sounds to wince me torturously every time I think a pious thought about being Krishna's servant or her servant. They pop up. You can hear them in the sounds they make to me. And they're hilarious sounding. They're adorable. They're like little mini micro Krishna. They're hilarious. Also, Saraswati, it sounds so weird. She communicates with me too, and she sounds like an entity. That's what they sound like, entities. Like little micro entities that are utterly cute and adorable. And she sounds so weird. She has her own distinct sound. She's my girlfriend, by the way. We're very serious, me and Saraswati. In fact, look at her face. You can tell that she is present and that she's in love with me. Can you tell that she's present and that she is absolutely in love with me? Even though I put that tape over her eye. And she loves you too. And you can ask her for any kind of boon you want right now, and she just might answer it for you. Especially if you ask her, all you ignoramuses out there, to stop being such goddamn motherfucking dumbasses. But yeah, I have to speak strongly. I like to speak strongly. It feels good. It's my talent. And this is my first time. And the way to go about it is to just speak as strongly as you can. Because we're about to have World War III too, by the way, if these motherfuckers want to put up a fight. And during wartime, you gotta be evil as you can be. That is the simplest way to say it. When it's time for war, it's time to get down and dirty and as evil as you can be. Be as much of a fucking beast as you can be. Just don't rape. That's what I would say. I'd say go plunder and pillage. Fucking, it's gonna be a fucking gruesome bloodbath. Blood guts everywhere. But don't rape. And don't torture. But, yeah, but also, since time immemorial, the kingdom of heaven suffereth violence, and the violent take it by force. I now know what that means. That means one day Thomas Earl Rees III would wake up to who he's been his whole material career. Not just philosophically is he Krishna, and not philosophically is everyone the Supreme Personality of Godhead either. No. Thomas Earl Reeves is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, of which we will all very soon see. I just gotta own it, and this is what's happening. I'm actually just in the most practical way. Apparently the plan was, once you hit this point, you're just gonna grow, and I don't know if I'm gonna get some special super huge breakthrough or what, but all my powers are gradually being restored to me. I mean, at this rate, it would probably take about 1,000 years for me to be God, but I don't know how this is gonna work. And then I might just end up realizing that we're all God equally. There is no one is a higher supreme in a higher position than the other. One is more omnipotent than the other or anything like that. And I just was forced to repeat my tendency, my behaviors from that I repeated as Adolf Hitler and Jim Jones. And this time I realized that I'm God and that we're all God. So maybe that's what it is. But they won't let me believe that. They're like, nope, you are God. Not others, you. The old monotheistic Vaishnava theology, dogma, truth. There is a supreme personality of Godhead. Not everyone is in his position. Shama Sundar, Krishna, omnipotent, fully omnipotent, fully omniscient, fully omnipresent, and whatever, if there's other omnis. It seems that I used to be Kartikeya, which Krishna was always his self, capital S self, and now I'm not even just Kartikeya. I'm Lord Krishna. I'm the Supreme Person of Godhead. I may have not have been used to have been, but he gave this to me, and when I didn't ask for it. What I've been demanding of Krishna as his full-time devotee, which means he's going to fulfill desires if you're his full-time devotee. His number one function, well, not his number one function is he's erotic, but one of his other number one functions is that he's a desire fulfiller. It's just his nature. He fulfills your desires. He fulfills his devotees' desires in such a way to where they won't covet, especially. But he fulfills desires. And I begged him, Krishna, I don't do austerity. I don't do discomfort. I don't do sacrifice. I don't do unpleasantness. I don't do suffering. I don't do long suffering. I don't do waiting. And I'm fucking suffering bad. I do not want to exist. You have to, Krishna. You have to do something. You have to do something. You have to, please, Krishna, bend reality for me, please, because I just can't shake this fact that deep down, I feel like I know that I didn't try hard enough. And I'm going to die. I'm going to die one day. This is the old thinking. And I feel like I know deep down inside that I didn't try hard enough. And I just know that I'm just not going to try hard enough. I'm just not going to do austerity. Austerity means doing something you don't want to do, getting out of your element, being like a fish out of water, doing work that you don't want to do. Like waking up at 2 a.m. to meditate for 3 hours. That's an austerity. Anyway. And so it's like, Krishna, you got to bend reality for me, please. I'll chant your name. Like, I'll at least just chant 24/7 in my head at least. And, whatever else, I can't get it together with the masturbating, the smoking, whatever it is, And I was like, Krishna, you just have to please bend reality to where I do what I like to do according to my current mental state, where I'm impatient. I want immediate gratification. I'm not really willing to tolerate or wait. I'm an addict. But you have to bend reality, please, to where I just do what I want, and it's what pleases you the most. It's your first choice. You're God. You can do it. Do it. So he did it. But what he says is, but see, the way I did it, since I'm God, I can do this, is that was the whole plan in the first place. But I mean, that's what I've been praying. And dude, my life got turned upside down. It is utterly bizarre. I started noticing that, oh my God, whatever Krishna is doing, it is crazy. It's other dimensional, interdimensional, parallel dimensional, other interdimensional, interdimensional, parallel dimensional, all kinds of dimensional. And yeah. And I mean, maybe that was the plan in the first place. Like, he knows the future, but it's like, does he choose to know the future though? It's like, but I wouldn't know, because if he bent reality for me, then I wouldn't know. Because it's like, do it to where, like, I don't even know that you did it, so that there's not even the slightest disappointment that he bent reality for me. It's like, all right, that's what your wish is, my God. And so now he says I'm God. He's like, I didn't ask to be God, but apparently, like, well, the only way that this can happen is if you're God. Maybe that's what it is. That's the only way I could give you everything you want according to your current impatient, immediately addicted to gratification mindset. But it'd be what pleases me the most, which I've told you what pleases me the most, says Krishna. I mean, I love Radharani and the gopis. I like it when you guys read their pastimes and try to meditate and visualize and enter into the Ras dance with us. I like it when you chant Hare Krishna, especially with love and devotion, especially when you sing and dance and do it enthusiastically. That's what really pleases me, says Radha Krishna. That's what we like. That's like how you scratch our back. I like it when you love each other, when you're nice to each other. That's like, Jesus' number one commandment. Just love each other. If you'll just do that, then we won't have to talk all this, you're going to hell and shit. If you little motherfuckers will just stop being so ugly to each other. But, yeah, they make a little, as if a teardrop comes out of my eye. It always itches when I say something that they like a lot. But, yeah. I was really on a rager when I found out that I was God the other day. And now it's like the program is, well, I'm just going to carry on. I'm very creative. I'm what you call a paradise creator, son. I'm not going to be carrying on like a fucking raging psycho all the time. I have a very wacky sense of humor. And it's just hilarious the idea that God would put everyone in tune into my consciousness, and then I'd be like, but saying weird things to all of creation. That's what I do sometimes. All right, so that's the idea, is that I believe that all people are tuned into me through the COVID microchip thing or something like that, but it could just be some people and or a pretext, because half the people on this planet are Vishnu Tattva anyway. That means they are watching. That would be the disease, telling you everyone's thinking about you all the time. Well, actually what it is, all the cars driving by and everything actually are Vishnu Tava. That means that they're people that are secretly God. They're down here doing something for us. They always have been. This place is a transmutation planet. It's not home. It's not just things by chance going on. No, this is specifically what's going on down here. And all the servants of the higher powers and everything are doing this down here. This is the transmutation planet, a transmutation planet to become a new creation in Christ. Christ is Krishna, luckily. Not just some boring, weak person that Jesus often comes out off to be, because we live in the iron age of quarrel and hypocrisy. It's the degenerate age when Veda knowledge is obscured. So we're immature. Humans are very immature in this age. What's important is to grow down and be childlike, but not childish. But yeah, I really am God. I know a lot of people don't like that idea. You might be by nature the type of entity that does not like God. That's okay. That's been my lesson. That's what I learned. That's okay. That's what you're supposed to be. That's how we made you. That's how Krishna made you. Krishna is everything, including a demon. He most definitely is. He's God. I'm God. I'm Krishna. Right now I'm being Thomas, so we say Krishna's Krishna. Krishna is, we already know that he's your mother's love and the father's love and the Abrahamic religion love and all the positive, nice things and everything. But when you read Bhagavad Gita and he shows his universal form, mostly what you see is a monstrous being, like fierceness and dragon-like and stuff like that, beastly. And the way I interpret it is, yes, that would be the male. That would be the male. He's tough. He's bad. That was just showing all a temporary universal form too. Just who knows what Arjuna really saw, and we have a depiction that's laid out to us, but anyway, God is terribly awesome in a lot of ways, and it's hard for me to identify as Krishna, as just someone who feels like Thomas Reeves, a white boy who, if I'm God, I don't want to be something dark and scary. I want to be bad to the fucking bone, as I am, but I don't want to be something dark and scary that tortures or anything like that, or puts people in hell. Now, temporary hell realms, yeah. In fact, I will throw an entity in hell, an unbearable eternal hell. But as soon as I see that entity is crying sincerely, tears of contrition, I let that entity out of hell, return it to its mother. That's the kind of God I am. That's the kind of God Krishna is, but actually he will allow people to suffer for prolonged periods of time. My reality, the way I think right now, and the utterly limited human condition is, well, I don't want there to be pain in existence anymore. I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to think once my God mind is restored, but supposedly I learned a lesson. I was Kartikeya, who's almost completely the supreme personality of Godhead. And one reason why I had to go through this process, come down here and do Emotions Anonymous, is because I was addicted to torturing demons. I would torture them so vehemently and wildly and desperately and demonically, being a wild raging monster, my demon myself. I became a freak, basically. Like, think what the neuroses that a human being has is bad. Just think of what a demigod, a war god has, who's the king of hell. They said I was the king of my own hell realm. And I can just see it in my mind's eye. I just know it's true. I was just like, it's very disturbing if you were to see my state that I was in as a higher being, uh, utterly just addicted to just wrathfully, just wildly, insanely, just torturing the most despicable. Just these demons are just intensely despicable beings. Um, but that just anger you, just the fact that they exist from a zillion miles away, you know. But and I used to relish that and enjoy that. It's kind of like the enjoyment of sweet, sweet revenge or something like that. Rageaholism. Um, but and so, but I was Kartikeya, who's a little bit lower than Krishna. He's considered a demigod. Um, but what I learned today, because they drilled this into me today, my entities, Radha Krishna Gopinath, is that gods will have their own little worlds and their own creations, their own humanity and everything. And I had my own, and this is one of them. I created this world. And then I put myself in amnesia, basically, well, supposedly I was destroyed, actually. I don't know if we're going to keep this part of the story because they've been gaslighting me too, and it's part of my process. God has to turn his back on me and gaslight me and abuse me and all this different stuff. That's what I've been going through. God's been torturing me. And he stopped, Radha Krishna Gopinath stopped literally torturing me after I finally said, okay, I'm God. I'll be God. I won't be a devotee of God. Only God. But now they leave me alone. Now my life is happy and I'm growing. I'm finally fulfilling my destiny. I really am God. I would never say something like that, I swear. And everyone has to do my will. I'm sorry, but they do. Not everyone's as God as me. They're just not. It's just true. It has to be spoken true. I'm God. I'm not gonna eternally come scrapingly fucking beg everyone to do my will. If you're not gonna do my will, you're gonna die. You're gonna go to the black hole. That is the whole paradise. That is eternal paradise. You ain't gotta go home, but you gotta get the fuck out of here if you're not into me. Sorry. Hare Krishna.